Vani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome back to this class. Very, very happy to see all of you. I'm happy to see those whose videos are on, and I'm also happy to see those whose videos are not on. So thank you very much for joining. My humble request, in case it is possible for you to keep your videos on, it'll be very nice to see you all. But in case you are not in a position, that's okay. I do fully understand. So we are continuing the discussion on Bhagavad Gita. Last time we discussed a very important cycle, Annad Bhavanti Bhutani Parjanyat Anna Sambhavaha. And I'm happy to see many of you reciting the verse, recording it, and sending it in the group. Thank you very much. I was just thinking before I start discussion on today's shloka, which is a very, very important shloka for all of us. I thought like I would ask that, do you all remember anything from last class, last Sunday? I know it's a long gap in between 1 week. We don't remember what we did 1 hour ago. So what to talk of remembering what we did a week ago. But any 1 or 2 point which you remember, which we discussed last time, any of you would like to share? I'll be very happy to hear 1 or 2 points from the class. What was the discussion? Yes, anyone? Shadbut Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
So, one very important point you have taught, Prabhuji, that consumption without contribution is theft. So, if we want to consume, then we need to contribute in that way. So, you have given the example how one can become animal, human, and sadhu. So, in that way, so at least we should contribute what exactly we are consuming. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Yes, we have someone in the chat box. Be prasaditarian. Yes, thank you. That's what we discussed. Anisha Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in the last class, you said that life is interdependent, so we shouldn't act independently. We should respect everyone around us. And you also said practice gratitude on daily basis. We should be thankful for whatever Krishna is giving us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else? If you remember, you took down notes or you heard the lecture again. Yes, Rupal, please, you can tell me.
You gave us the analogy of rain, reliance of God, acceptance of grace, inner purification, nourishment for all. And then we spoke about divine circle of cooperation, and that each action is unavoidable. So we should try to act with responsibility.
Thank you. Yes, we are seeing Palomi. Yes, please. Thank you for raising your hand. You can unmute. You're not yet on unmute. I think, yes.
Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare.
The biggest lesson I learned was that food really affects your consciousness. How it what you eat is how you react. Is that what I
Yeah, what you eat makes your mind, the conscious
effects?
affects your mind. Yes, very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? One last point before we start today's discussion. Okay. So we will begin. Now, till now, what we have been discussing in Bhagavad Gita, if you remember from the beginning, from the first chapter, how Dhritarashtra was inquiring. So we discussed about Kurukshetra, our own attachment, favoritism, and then we discussed about accepting the guidance, Karpanya Dosho. And in the second chapter, Krishna chastised Arjuna. Then he spoke about the soul, the basic knowledge. And then he also spoke a lot of things in Bhagavad Gita about the qualities of a great personality or characteristics of a person who's a devotee. And many other things we discussed in the last chapter. Then third chapter we discussed about how everything is interdependent. We had yesterday. So sorry, not yesterday. Last class we discussed, and so this now in this chapter, third chapter, Krishna has been discussing about activities, karma. And when he speaks about that, he is speaking about now, in this verse which we are going to take today, he is speaking a wonderful topic, leadership by example. Or rather, he is speaking about the power of personal conduct. So, how our behavior should be, how our personal conduct should be. Krishna is speaking about it in this wonderful verse, which we are going to discuss today. So, let us recite the verse as is the practice as we do, and then we will discuss on the verse. So, this is the verse, chapter number 3, verse number 21. This is called, oh, sorry, where did it go? Wait, I'll share it again. Okay, now it will come. Okay, so here it is. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tattadeve tarojana. So I'll recite it. Please hear carefully. Verse number 21 of chapter 3. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tattadeve tarojana. Sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. I'll repeat it once again. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tattadeve jana sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. The translation for this: whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So now here, as I said, this verse, Krishna is now speaking about leaders. And why is he speaking about leaders? Because Arjuna was a leader and Arjuna wanted to renounce everything, go away, he did not want to fight. So Krishna is reminding him about his responsibility. Many times in our life, we go on with the life. And we forget that we have some responsibility. Not only that, we forget that we have responsibility, we forget that we are examples for others. We think that anyway, who bothers? What am I doing? I may not be influencing anyone's life, but that's not possible. You may want to quit influence, but influence never quits you. You always have influence on your family, on your neighbors, on your colleagues, on your children, on your, whoever. So Arjuna wanted to renounce everything, renounce action. And Krishna was saying, no, don't think that inaction is possible. Inaction means not doing anything. We all, in our position, we carry invisible responsibility because we become role models for someone or other. Don't think that when talking of role models means those whom thousands of people are following. No, even if one person is following you, if one person is also looking up to you, you are a role model for that person. And that brings responsibility. So in this wonderful verse, what Krishna is speaking of is not just the leaders. He's speaking of the personal conduct. He's speaking of the responsibility what we carry. And he's speaking of the influence what we can have over others. So let us try to understand this verse, wonderful verse. See, Bhagavad Gita is not just kind of a religious book, speaking only about God, speaking only about, some kind of dharma or religion. No, it's a book of life, teaching us how to live. And that's why it's very important to understand. So what is Krishna saying? Let's break down the verse. The first line says, Yad yad acharati shrestha. Yad yad is whatever. Acharati means behavior. And shreshtas means, shreshtaha means great personality. So whatever a great person does. Yad yad acharati shrestha. Now when we're talking about acharati or behavior, please understand a person's behavior is the most honest autobiography of their inner world. So whatever is there inside, that honest autobiography is there in your behavior. So what does the behavior of a person reflect? All of us have a particular behavior. So we should know what is our behavior, what does our behavior reflect. The first thing our behavior reflect is the state of consciousness, our mind. What is going on in our mind? Because Bhagavad Gita says you have certain thoughts, the thoughts leads to action, action leads to destiny. So first thing that our behavior reflect is what is going on in our mind. If your behavior is very calm, then we can understand that your consciousness is elevated. In the sense, you have a higher goal in mind. But if your behavior is very reactive, you impulsive, you just want to react, that means you have a disturbed mind. So you see, behavior, this is just an example. Behavior is reflecting your state of mind or your consciousness. Because we have heard about three modes of material nature. Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. So three modes are mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. If the person is very peaceful, very disciplined, it is to be understood that his mind is in mode of goodness. If a person is too ambitious, over ambitious, see, being ambitious is not a problem. Over ambitious, very restless, it is to be understood that his mind is affected by mode of passion. Person is very lazy, angry, destructive. That means his mind is affected by mode of ignorance. So if you want to know in which mode you are, don't ask what mode you are in. Observe how you behave. That is why Krishna is bringing this point here of Yadyada Acharati Shreshtas. How does one behave? So as I was mentioning that our behavior reflects our state of mind, our behavior also reflects what practices we are doing in our life. If you are doing spiritual practices, that means your heart has been cleansed, or the process of cleaning the heart has started. So then what will be seen in your behavior? Humility, forgiveness, gratitude. These are the qualities which one can observe. That means it shows your practices. You are, excuse me, you are doing some spiritual practices, or you are doing some kind of destructive practices. So that will also be seen in your behavior. So when we talk of bhakti, when we talk of devotional service, it shows first in behavior, not in your language. So the second thing that reflects is the level of practices, what you do in your life. The third thing your behavior reflects is the depth of values and character, called samskara. When you are under pressure, when you are under testing times, when conveniences are not there, when you're going through difficulty, what is your behavior? So that behavior reveals values, character, that even in those times, even in difficult times, even in pressures, you were maintaining your values. So character is revealed when conveniences disappears. Please understand. Or also, it is said that if you want to know the character of one person, then you should see how he behaves when he is alone. Because in public, everyone is good. Everyone is very nice. We behave very nicely in public, isn't it? In front of others, we show as if, I have no problem in my life. I'm very happy. Kind of an artificial lifestyle which we put up. Whenever I speak of this, I always remember a very good example. When we were young, I used to stay in Mumbai. And so Mumbai, the house next to us had a family. And there was a young couple in that who always used to fight. And fight means terribly. They'll use all foul language and this both each other. But when they used to come out, it used to seem that they're the best couple in the world, the way they used to behave. So it was so surprising for us because we were neighbors and every day we were hearing the kind of abuses they will hurl at each other, the kind of fights they used to be taking place in that in their house. But then when they are outside, oh my God, they could easily get best couple award. So sometimes in public we behave very nicely. Yes, you're the best. But when you're alone, that is the time your character is tested, how you behave. So when conveniences are not there, do you maintain your character? Do you maintain your behavior very nicely? That is important. One very important thing which our behavior reflects is unresolved emotions and inner wounds. You have been hurt. You've been carrying something from years, which is there within you, you're not able to express to anyone, you're not able to speak to anyone, where that wound is there, that hurt is there, it's still bleeding. The emotions have not been resolved. So how your behavior will be? Anger, sarcasm, withdrawal. Sometimes you become angry, or sometimes you just withdraw completely. So such symptoms often signal fear, insecurity, or past hurt. It's quite possible you have been hurt years ago, but you're carrying that. So that comes out in the form of anger, that comes out in the form of sarcasm, that comes out in the form of withdrawal. So your behavior speaks about your emotions, your inner wounds. Because behavior is sometimes pain speaking without words. Have you ever heard pain speaking? Suppose you had a lot of pain carrying in your heart and you give words to it. How will it speak? That's your behavior. So that's why sometimes the behavior reflects your unresolved emotions and your inner wounds or pain. Our behavior sometimes also reflects attachment and identities. When we are attached to getting too much of praises, the pride comes. When you are attached to too much of controlling things, fear comes. When you are attached to too many possessions, or the possessions you have, insecurity comes. So all these are reflected in your behavior because of your attachment. At the same time, your behavior also reflect your destination you're going to. Be very careful. Your behavior today is shaping your future, like your habits, your character. It's shaping your destiny. You can say that your future is hiding inside your today's behavior. So that's why by seeing your behavior today, we can say what will be your destiny. So behavior, you can say, is the visible evidence of what you are going to achieve. Therefore, Krishna consciousness focus on transformation of behavior. What is Krishna consciousness? Various definitions. One of the definition is transformation of heart or transformation of behavior from reactive to reflective, from self-centered to service-centered. So this is called acharati, behavior. So yad yad acharati, and whose behavior? Shrestha. Shreshtas means great personalities. Now you may think, oh, all this was being spoken for someone who's a great personality, not me. I'm not a great personality. So let me tell you who's a great personality, who's a Shrestha, whom is Krishna talking about? Is Krishna talking about those big influencers of today who have millions of followers, Shreshtas? Or is he talking about the world leaders? Whom is he talking about? Whom can be considered Shreshtas? In general, those who are followed, say influencer by visibility. So those who are followed are called Shreshtas. You still are thinking, no, I'm not coming in that category. On my YouTube, hardly I have people following me. So that means I'm not coming in that category. A Shrestha is anyone whose actions are observed. Anyone whose behavior shapes others' choices. I think you still are thinking, I am not in that category. Okay, let me tell you. Influence may be intentional or accidental. Now let's see examples. Parents. Now you can think whether you're coming into the category or no. Shreshtas. Parents, because they are role models for children. The mother and father may not have millions of followers. You may not be famous on YouTube, but your behavior is shaping the life of your child. So you are a Shrestha. Who else can be Shrestha? Who else can be personality? Parents, teachers, seniors, managers, preachers, public figures. They are all coming in this category of Shreshtas. If people watch you, you are a Shrestha, whether you like it or not. If people watch you, you are a Shrestha. Children watch parents. When a small child is there, you feel he's not realizing anything. The child realizes. Why is the child attached to the mother? Because he sees that how much pain the mother is taking to raise him. Child gets attached. If mother gives time, if mother gives love, definitely child gets attached to the mother. So Shrestha doesn't mean those big people whose name appear in newspaper. Shrestha means you all. So whom do we call who can be considered Shrestha? Number one, those who are followed. Number two, those with moral authority, character-based leaders who lives with some values, who practice what they teach. Because people follow integrity more than instructions. I can give you 100 instructions. Do this, do that, do this, do that. Bhagavad Gita teaches it, Bhagavad Gita teaches that. But what will affect your heart is how I behave, not what I speak only. Because people will see integrity. How is the behavior? How is the character? We cannot separate character from our actions. Okay, don't look at me what I'm doing, but only hear what I'm speaking. No, that will not have an effect. So that's why who's considered Shrestha? One who's being followed. Second, one who's living by some moral authority, or the person who lives for others, not for ego. In this world, if you are not a devotee, then you can live only for two people. Number one, two categories of people. Number one, others. Like you see, we find people who love to do social service, who love to do something for others, or sometimes they live for others. That's one category. Second, you can live for your ego, not even for yourself. Please understand. There is a difference between living for yourself and living for your ego. We live for our ego. We don't live for ourselves. Those who are devotees of the Lord are actually living for themselves. Why? Because they understand the purpose of the soul. Others are just living for ego. So Shreshtas are who are living for, at least who are living for others, not for ego, or who are living for themselves, like saintly persons, who are living for others' benefits. They are called Shreshtas. They give importance to sacrificing their comfort for service. They think of everyone. They think they are selfless. So like we all have our signature, right? Sometimes you're recognized by your signature. At least even today in India, we give a check in the bank. And the bankers, they don't know who has given the check. They can't see anything, but the only thing they see is signature. And then they said, okay, done. Just by matching the signature. So please understand, selflessness is the signature of a great person, Shrestha. That is our signature. We are recognized, as in the bank, you're recognized not by your face, not by your presence, not by anything else other than signature. Selflessness is the signature of a Shrestha. So those who live for others, not for ego, they are called Shrestha. So that's what I was saying, that don't think that we are not Shreshtas. Each of you. If you are being followed, you are a Shrestha. If you are living by moral authority, you are giving character more value than anything else, you are a Shrestha. If you are living for others, not for ego, you are Shreshtas. Or if your life is aligned with dharma, duties according to the scripture, you are a Shrestha. You act according to what duties have been given to you. So now everyone can say, does anyone who does his duty is a Shrestha? No. Doing your duty purely makes you a Shrestha. Not just doing your duty, but doing your duty purely. Purely means adding the element of dharma in that. And ultimately, I can say that those whom Krishna uses as examples are Shreshtas for us, are the leaders, are the great personality for us. Like he used Prahlad Maharaj to show us that even in reversals, even in difficulties, to the extent where your own father is about to kill you, you still have complete faith in God. He used Prahlad to give this example. He used Ambarish Maharaj to show what faith is. That if you have faith in Krishna, then nobody can do anything, any harm to you. The faith in Ambarish Maharaj. Prabhupada used Krishna used Ambarish Maharaj. And when it comes to Prabhupada, the name has come. Krishna used Prabhupada. We see how he went at that advanced age, at the age of 70, and he reaches US, and then the kind of preaching he did, the kind of change he brought in everyone's life. He is a Shrestha. So a Shrestha is not the one who knows the most, but the one whose life teaches the most. That is called Shrestha. So if you are not, try to become. That's what Krishna is saying. It's not necessary that you should know everything, but it's necessary that your life should teach something to others. So here Krishna says, Yad Yad Acharati Shrestha. So if you want to know whether you are a Shrestha or no, you are a great personality or no, you are a leader or no, just ask few questions to yourself. Number one, who observes my behavior? Think, is there someone who's observing your behavior? If no one, it's okay, but you'll not find that answer. Somebody is observing. What standard am I setting unknowingly for others to follow? Would I be comfortable if others copied my life? That's a very important question. Are you living a life like that? Where if someone is copying your life, will you be very happy? Yes, very nice. Person should live. Okay, how have you been living? Oh, I cheat each and every one. And I'm very happy if somebody copies my life. I'm cheating government. I'm cheating people. I'm cheating these persons. I'll be very happy if someone copies my life. Or I'm doing all sorts of wrong things and I'm always scared. I'll be very happy if person copies my life. Or I have lived an honest life. I have lived a life of selflessness. I have lived a life where I served others. I have lived a life where I tried my best not to hurt anyone. I'll be very happy if people copy my life. So if this is there in your life, you are a Shreshta. So that's why Krishna is saying, Yad Yad Acharati Shreshtas. So what happens if such people, their behavior, what impact it has? Tattadeve Tarojana. Common people follow exactly that. Because people like to imitate actions. They don't like to imitate ideals. Like a person may be great, you don't just follow his action, you don't imitate his actions, but you imitate what is his ideals, what is he living for, what is he working for, what are his values. So tattadeve tarojana. And then sayat pramanam kurute, whatever standards he sets. Because you see, the behavior of people becomes the yardstick. I was told many years ago, there was a famous hero, I think Western movie hero, who had a style that in every movie he'll have a cigarette hanging from his lips all the time. That was his style. And seeing him, thousands and thousands of youths, this took up to smoking. And this actor, he himself died of cancer, lung cancer. But then before going, he spoiled the lives of so many people. Yes. So, whatever standards, yat sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanuvartate, the world follows that standards. So that's why we have to be very careful how we are behaving. And don't think that you are not having influence on anyone. If you are seen, you are followed. That's all. Okay, if you are locked up in your room, nobody sees you, it's okay. Maybe nobody will follow. If you are seen, you will be followed. So it's such an important thing that yad yad acharati shreshtas tattadeve tarojana. And what does it teaches us? What lessons we get? Number one, influence is inevitable. Even silence can influence. So, if influence is inevitable, what should we do? Live consciously. Assume responsibility for your actions. It is very important. We should assume responsibility for our actions, whatever actions we are doing. Very important. Second lesson we learn is don't bring hypocrisy in your life. Hypocrisy actually destroys faith. So that's why we should be very credible. Practice what you preach. Admit mistakes honestly. Don't be don't just say, no. Or don't just make a show of it. People may forgive weakness, but not double standard. If you're fallen, you still can be followed. But if you're a fake person, you cannot be followed. So hypocrisy destroys faith. Practice what you preach. That's an important lesson which we learn here. And the third lesson, very important, behavior speaks louder than philosophy. You may give big philosophy to people. Okay, this is what Krishna says, this is what happens. But behavior is not good, then it's not going to have the impact. Your preaching, your giving message to others will work only when it is backed by practice. As they say, walk the talk. I will add one more line to that. Have you heard this line, walk the talk? That person walks the talk, walks his talks and all, right? Is this the line they say? No? This is the line, yes. So I will add something to this. Walk the talk or drop the mic. Don't just go on speaking. Don't just go on preaching. If you cannot walk the talk, just drop the mic. So you have to live what you speak, or before you speak, you have to live and then speak. That's a very important message which is given here. The fourth message which we can learn is leaders must be more regulated. You have some kind of higher facilities that should bring responsibility. So what is the responsibility? That how we behave, how we deal with others, how compassionate we are to others, how selflessly we are living. It is very important. And please do not have two lives. This is my private life. I can do whatever I want. And this is my public life. I will show I'm a very good person. No. Like there may be people who may talk about animal cruelty. Don't be cruel to the animals. Okay, what did you have in dinner? Hot dog. So don't be, but you can say that's my private life. I can speak a lot on animal cruelty, but when it comes to eating, I like my chicken. So don't tell me that. That is different thing. No, it cannot be. Because your private life should be your public life. Be the same person. And as a leader, you should create culture, not just rules. That is also important. So we have a lot of examples like Janak Maharaj, King Janak, highly enlightened person, yet he was ruling the kingdom and very responsibly. We have example of Srila Prabhupada. His life inspired a global movement. He inspired everyone by example. When he went to the West, he was an old person, 70-year-old person. And he wanted to speak from Bhagavad Gita. People had never heard Bhagavad Gita. They had not heard who's Krishna. And he wanted to give them all this philosophy of three modes. Nobody will understand. But they saw his example. They saw his behavior. They saw that compassion in his behavior, that he wanted to do something for them. He wanted to give them something, that love which they had been hankering for. And that changed his life. So one pure life can change the world. That's an example of Srila Prabhupada. So we should be very careful how we behave. Like, if a teacher is coming late to the class, cannot teach punctuality. Very simple. So become a responsible person. But this should not bring some heavy pressure. Oh, I have to be like this. I have to be like this. No, it is not pressure. It is purpose. What if I'm perfect? No problem. Be sincere, but don't be artificial. That is important. Leadership is about direction, not about perfection. So we should always, as I said, ask this question: what standard did I set today? Who may be following me unknowingly? Did my actions support my values? So if you want to change the world, begin with your behavior. Now, have you heard of 10 commandments? I'm sure you may have heard, right? 10 commandments. I'm not going to ask, give me the 10 commandments, but I'm just saying, you may have heard about 10 commandments. Let's take 10 commandments from Bhagavad Gita, how we should live, how we should be shreshtas. We are discussing about yadi yadachirati shreshtas. So what are the 10 commandments given by Bhagavad Gita that make us shreshta, the great personality? The first one, which we discussed today, comes from the 3rd chapter and 21st verse, yadi yadachirati shreshtas. The first commandment is lead with purpose, not position. As we discussed the whole today, that influence comes from action, not just title. Okay, you are so and so, finish. No, how you behave is important. Like suppose you are the CEO of a company. So are you working alongside the employees or you're just giving orders? So that is important. 10 commandments. So first is lead with purpose. Second is stay steady in turbulences. Like when you're flying in a plane and then 30,000, 40,000 feet above the sea level, and then they say, we are going through turbulences. Please do not leave your seat, this and that. So what are they saying? Stay steady. Isn't it? That's what they're saying. You're not supposed to move. You're not supposed to get up from your seat. Stay steady. Bhagavad Gita teaches us. Let's stay steady. Focus on duty. Stay undisturbed by success or failure. That is what karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Focus on your duty. Don't worry whether the success or the failure. So that's the second commandment. We'll go a little fast. We have only 9 minutes remaining and we have to complete this today. Okay, so what was the first one? Lead with purpose, not position. Second is stay steady in turbulences. Our plane is going through turbulences, stay steady. Third is balance compassion with responsibility. Arjuna was giving up his responsibility for being compassionate. Oh, I'm very compassionate. I'm not going to kill anyone. I'm not going to do anything. Oh, how can I do that? How can I kill? And why is Krishna opposing? Isn't it so astonishing? Arjuna was saying such nice thing. I'm not going to kill. I don't want just piece of land. By killing these people, Krishna says, no, you have to fight. Are why? Because Krishna is teaching balancing. Balance compassion with responsibility. Care for people, but fulfill the mission also. Like sometimes you have to make tough calls. So that is required. So balance compassion with responsibility. That means do not get carried away. Fourth, empowerment comes through knowledge. Fourth commandment, imam vivasvate yogam broktavanaham abhyayam. You have to take the knowledge and then empowerment comes. So share your wisdom to create future leaders, like we have parampara. One spiritual leader teaches the other teaches the next teaches the next, and that's how the knowledge comes to us. And through this knowledge, the empowerment comes. So share wisdom. Do not just keep it to yourself. And do not think that if I give it to others, oh, what will I have? I'll become empty. No. Whatever knowledge you have, please give it to others. It will increase further. There are teachers, so-called spiritual teachers, who said, oh, I have given all my knowledge to this person. Now I have nothing left in me. It doesn't work like that. Spiritual knowledge grows and grows and grows. Go on giving. So then, like the trees or the grass, you just cut them. What will happen? They grow faster. Then you again cut them. Then again they grow. Or even our hair, right? You cut your hair, they grow. Of course, you shouldn't cut again and again. But I'm just saying, if you cut your hair, they grow again. So similarly, knowledge, if you are distributing, it's not that it's over now, it's all burnt, zero, it will grow. So empowerment comes through knowledge. Fifth commandment is base your decision on ethics or dharma. Principles over profit. This is what Bhagavad Gita is teaching. Yes, we need profit. We need what we are going to gain. We need gains. But we don't want gains when you step over principles and gain. No. Principles should be above. Profit should not be above. So in our mind, we should have, yes, I want to gain, I want to have profit, but not at the cost of principles. Principles should be maintained. So you should refuse unethical deals despite potential revenues. No need to do unethical deals. So base all your decision on dharma. Sixth is inspire by example. Your conduct sets the standard. Yad yadacharati shresha. So inspire by example. Seventh is be detached from outcome. You stay committed to effort. You should not worry about result. Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Be detached from outcome. Focus, like suppose you're into business, focus on giving good quality, not obsessed over short-term sales. So that's how we should be detached from outcome. Eighth commandment is communicate to the listener's level. Krishna, when he was telling Arjuna, he used various things depending on what Arjuna, how he can understand. So you should communicate to the listener's level. That's the quality of a very good leader. If you want to be a good preacher, if you want to be a good leader, you should communicate to the level of the listener. Like suppose I am teaching Bhagavad Gita to school children. Then what will happen? Will I speak about heavy philosophy? Will I give them philosophical conclusions? No, they are school children. I will give them some stories by which they can understand Bhagavad Gita. Very simple. So you should communicate to the listener's level. I will just repeat all the 8 again before we go to the last 2. So for those who have not been able to catch up. I was going a little fast, sorry. So I thought like I have only 4 minutes left, so I have to complete. Otherwise, each commandment we can, this 10 commandments, maybe we can have one lecture one day where I'll just speak on this. So first one is lead with purpose, not position. Yad yadacharati. Stay steady in turbulences. Our plane is going through turbulence. Stay steady, fix. That means focus on duty. Stay undisturbed by success or failure. Third is balance compassion with responsibility. That means care for people, but at the same time fulfill the mission also. Don't forget the responsibility we carry. Fourth is empowered through knowledge. You have to share wisdom to others. Don't think that if you give it to others, what will, sometimes we don't want to share what we have, thinking what will be my value. Then he will know everything. Then then they will not give me respect. This is foolishness. And I gave the example. You cut your hair, they'll grow. You cut the tree, they grow again back. So nothing, not a loss. So share wisdom. Fifth is you should base your decision on dharma, on ethics. That means you should give importance to the ethics, importance to good principles, not just gains. That is important. Sixth is you should inspire by example. You are a good leader if you can inspire. A good leader is known by how many leaders he made, not how many factories he made or something. How many leaders he made. So inspire by example. Seventh was the be detached from outcomes. Whatever you're getting, just continue to put your effort. Eighth, communicate to the listener's level. So you should adapt your message in such a way that people can understand. When you're talking to school children, it should be in different way. When you're talking to same message, same shloka. If you're talking to college students, it should be different. If you're talking to philosophers, it should be different. So accordingly, you should. Ninth is care for the whole person in the sense overall well-being of the person, not just one aspect. Many times, like when we are raising the children, we are very much worried about the IQ of our child. IQ should be very high. What about the EQ? Oh yes, EQ also has to be taken in consideration. What about SQ? I hope you understand this word IQ, EQ, SQ. Yes, no? Yes, okay. IQ is intelligent quotient. EQ is emotional quotient, SQ is spiritual quotient. So nowadays, there are tests done to identify your child's IQ level or EQ level. In fact, in the early times, it was only IQ, there was no EQ and SQ. So they were thinking if a child has a high IQ, bas, that is enough, you don't need anything. But the scientists later found out no, IQ is not just enough, you need EQ also. So then that started coming up because child may be very intelligent, but he may not be able to handle his emotions. That means there is no overall development. Like you have a very intelligent child, and what happened to the child? He committed suicide. Shh. Why? He was such an intelligent, yes, he was such an intelligent boy, but he didn't have emotional quotient. He could not handle his emotions. So the scientists came up with EQ. And in the early 2000s, they came up with another theory that IQ, EQ is not enough for overall development. SQ is also important, spiritual quotient. How the development. So care for the overall development of the person. Like say, for example, you're working and you want to be a spiritual person also. How to strike the balance? So it should be overall. As I said, IQ, EQ, SQ for the child. So for the person, work-life balance has to be there. And the 10th commandment is serve a higher cause. Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. So leadership is service to something greater than oneself. You're serving, but don't think that sometimes we think, oh, I want to serve the poor people. Oh, okay, so you become a leader of poor. But real leadership is to service to something higher than you, something greater than yourself. That is leadership. So you should guide the community definitely, but connect the community to the higher purpose. So that's why serve a higher cause. That is the 10th commandment. So leadership is not about control. It's about example. It's about service. It's about vision. That is real leadership. So you want to be great. Can I take 5 minutes more if you all agree? Or because it's already 2 minutes late, I think I should stop here. But if you give me permission, Rupal, what do you say? Should I continue?
Yes.
I know you cannot say no. That's why I asked you only.
Please continue.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for encouragement. I was thinking that you all are so fed up and you're saying, oh my God, another 5 minutes. No, no, no. But you all are saying, yes, 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 we are all fed up. Thank you. So I'll continue. Now, I'll just end this discussion with the definition of the word great. What makes you great? Let's try to understand what makes you great. Okay. The first thing that makes you great is gratitude. Okay, let me show you. I think it'll be nice if I show you on your screen. I don't know whether it is there. Yes, it is there. Okay, what can you see on your screen? Something plain blank, isn't it? I think that must be there. Yes, that's what blank thing. White. Okay. So now we are discussing what makes you great. G is for gratitude. So now you want to be great. I'm just telling you what makes you great. So G is for gratitude. That means true greatness begins with thankfulness, not by by being greedy. G doesn't mean greedy. G doesn't mean anything else. Gratitude. And then R will be for responsibility. Sorry, why is that stopped? Okay. I think there is some issue with that. I will just speak and then I'll try again to bring it on the screen. G is for gratitude. R is for responsibility. A great person owns their duties and choices even when no one is watching. He is responsible. So, gratitude, responsibility, enthusiasm in serving. E is enthusiasm in serving, because those who are great, they serve with joy. They don't serve with burden. That, oh, such a big burden I have to. No, they serve with joy. They see service as privilege, not obligation. So, G is for gratitude, that we acknowledge the grace, we don't claim the credit. Responsibility means we have we own our duties and choices. Like we are behaving very nicely even when no one is watching. We are very enthusiastic in serving because we see service as privilege. We feel joy serving. A is for alignment, alignment with values, with dharma. As I said, a great person, he does duty purely to stay aligned with truth, principles. And T is for transformation. Real greatness is to uplift others, transform others' lives, not just impress. I'm here to impress all of you. See how great I am. That's not greatness. Real greatness is to see others going ahead of you. That you give them such knowledge, and if they go ahead of you, you feel very happy. That is called greatness. So that's why real greatness is in the word great. Let me see if I can share it again. Yes, I think so. Okay, here it's greatness, gratitude, responsibility, enthusiastic in serving, alignment with values, and transformation. Great. So become great by developing gratitude, by developing responsibility, by being enthusiastic in service, alignment with values, and transforming others' lives. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Any of you have any comments or anything to say? Was it okay? I mean, was it palatable, I should say? Digestible? I would like to hear from, who's this? Preeti. Would you like to say something? I think you can unmute yourself. Uh-uh. You're not able to do that? Okay. Anyone else would like to say something? I'm surprised why you're not able to unmute. I know you're trying anyway. Okay. Yes, Shadbut Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, your teachings are so realistic, as well as it's through the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, I am able to connect with our life. It's very useful things, whatever you taught today, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay, so I think we should have such class every day, na? It'll be so nice every day morning to have this class. But yes, I know then slowly people will reduce. I'll be the only one speaking. And so better keep it to 1 week. So see you next Sunday. And please continue to join our chanting session, which most of you are joining every day. It's just for 10 minutes. I'm grateful to Raghavi Mataji. She's been taking a lot of trouble just to keep you all encouraged. So please keep joining every day and also on Sunday. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.